Looksmaxxing is an attempt at enhancing one's physical appearance through surgical, or non-surgical methods. People do this to increase their sexual marketing value in their lifestyles. It's no secret that good-looking people generally make for more desirable romantic partners. Do you have a crush on someone? I can pretty much guarantee by 100% that your crush is attractive. People generally don't find unattractive people as desirable romantic or sexual partners. In a relationship, the unattractive partner is treated badly with less respect and love. They are most likely to be used for resources rather than romantic purposes. Beautiful people are considered smarter and more intelligent than unattractive people. The more attractive someone is, the more likely we are to perceive them as intelligent. A study of 100 students at the university had their faces photographed, and an average exam result was calculated for each one. Participants from Amazon's Mechanical Turk platform were then asked to rate each face on attractiveness, intelligence, conscientiousness, and academic performance. An average score was given for each category and compared to the exam result score provided by the students. The team found that those considered attractive were also rated more highly on intelligence, conscientiousness, and academic achievement, even though there was no statistical relationship between attractiveness and academic achievement. The impact of the attractiveness halo effect on perceptions of academic performance in the classroom is concerning, as this has been shown to influence students' future performance, the researchers wrote. These findings emphasize the misleading effect of attractiveness on the accuracy of first impressions of competence, which can have serious consequences in areas such as education and hiring. Facial impressions have consistently been shown to influence our opinions, as well as bias decisions in politics, leadership, law, parental expectations, and punishments on children, military rank promotion and teacher evaluations. Attractive individuals are more likely to make more money than unattractive individuals. A study out of the University of Wisconsin found that S&P 500 companies with more attractive CEOs were more likely to have higher revenue than companies with less attractive leaders. Attractive people are more likely to be hired for a job. They are more likely to get ahead in a job interview. The research found out that both male and female applicants who were considered attractive were more likely to make it to the next phase of a simulated hiring process than unattractive applicants with the same credentials and resume. Attractive individuals are perceived to be healthier. In a study from the University of St Andrews in Scotland, researchers manipulated photos of people's faces so that they showed different levels of symmetry and asymmetry. The study participants were more likely to rate the symmetrical faces as more attractive and healthier looking. The asymmetrical faces were more frequently perceived as unattractive. It's not a perception. Health is beauty. Attractive people are much healthier than unattractive people. Physical attractiveness is an indicator of possessing high-quality genes. A person's attractiveness can signal cues to fertility and health. Men are attracted towards women who are young, symmetrical, full-breast, and have a low waist-to-hip ratio, indicating fertility and childbearing abilities. On the other hand, women are attracted towards men who are masculine, tall with broad shoulders, and of course symmetry. Even a baby can tell the difference between an attractive and an unattractive face. In one study, 60 babies were exposed to color images of 16 adult women and 16 adult men. Each of the images had been previously rated for attractiveness by adults. The researchers found that babies looked longer at the attractive adult faces than the unattractive faces. Interestingly, when shown pictures of other infants that had been similarly rated for attractiveness by adults, infants were also more likely to linger on images of the attractive babies. Have you seen the movie named Wonder? It portrays how we judge everyone solely based on their beauty. Not only do infants prefer attractive faces, but adults also prefer attractive infants. Infants' preference for attractive faces matures into teen and adult sexual preference for an attractive face. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder is simply a false statement. If you are attractive, you will be considered attractive by the majority of people. Beauty is a touchy subject. People get offended when someone calls them unattractive. And I don't get it why? Suppose you are fat, and if someone calls you fat, then what's wrong? The reason the individual is calling you fat is that you are overweight. He is just saying the truth. I remembered when I was a kid I was overweight, and people made fun of me. I felt bad at that time, which motivated me to lose weight. Later I realized, they were saying the truth. I was fat. Unattractive people generally believe in looks don't matter, it's what inside that counts, which is simply not true. I think it's a coping mechanism. There's a study that shows, unattractive people are unaware of their unattractiveness. Research shows that people, overall, tend to rate themselves as more physically attractive than strangers rate them. However, it seems that not everyone overestimates their attractiveness to an equal degree. A series of studies conducted by researcher Tobias Greitemeyer explored the possibility that unattractive people are more likely to hold exaggerated ideas of their attractiveness than attractive people are. Something you gotta understand is that sexual attraction has nothing to do with your money, personality, or charisma. Women automatically look for men with better genes to reproduce and make healthy babies for survival and vice versa. And it's quite well documented by various studies. The same thing happens in the animal kingdom. Here's a graph that shows your looks is your personality. And I am not even surprised why good-looking criminals are treated better by society, get less prison time, less punishment, and more attention from their opposite gender. Women believe attractive criminals are innocent and it's the society or other factors that influence them to do criminals acts. And again, the evidence is backed by surveys and studies. The first study we will observe is the research conducted by Downs and Lyons. The purpose of this study was to find a link between a criminal's attractiveness and sentencing outcomes. They gathered a group of police officers and students to rate the attractiveness of over 2,000 criminals. A scale of 1 to 5 was used and their ratings were mostly similar. Then, the judges' sentencing decisions were divided into two main categories, misdemeanors and felonies. Misdemeanors were separated into 3 classes, related to the severity of the crime. The judges fined unattractive criminals significantly more than attractive criminals. The fine incrementally increased as the attractiveness decreased. In Pennsylvania and Philadelphia courts, the researchers gathered data on 67 defendants. The defendants were a mix of black, Hispanic, and white, and there were 15 real judges in total. On average, criminals of low attractiveness were sentenced to 4.10 years in prison, and criminals of high attractiveness were sentenced to 1.87 years in prison. This equals a 119.25% increase. This study was similar to the previous study. The researchers recorded data from real court cases in Pennsylvania. They detailed the physical attractiveness of 60 defendants and their neatness, cleanliness, and quality of clothing. Then, they recorded the judges' decisions. The criminals were charged with a range of felonies, including murder, manslaughter, rape, kidnapping, armed robbery, aggravated assault, indecent assault, arson, burglary, conspiracy to sell/deliver heroin, cocaine, hashish, and other illicit drugs, extortion, fraud, theft, and firearms violation. Unattractive criminals were punished higher than attractive criminals in 3 studies. The lowest increase was at 119.25% and the highest increase was at 304.88%. The burglary study. In this study, the participants were given a burglary scenario along with an image of the criminal. Some received the unattractive criminal and others received the attractive criminal. 10 psychology students rated the attractiveness of the criminals prior to the study to determine attractiveness. Then, they were asked to suggest a 1, 5, 10, 15, or 20 years imprisonment. The participants consisted of 40 Euro-American men, 40 Euro-American women, 40 African-American men, and 40 African-American women. A strength of this study is the participants ranged in race, gender, and age. The attractive criminal was given an average sentence of 9.7 years, and the unattractive criminal was given 14.7 years. That's an increase of 51.55%. The purpose of the study was to find out whether the attractiveness bias could be reduced by rational thinking. 124 female students were given a summary of a murder case. Half of the women were given a clear case of murder and the other was given a case of uncertainty, that is, it was hard to determine whether the defendant was guilty. The other factor that changed was the attractiveness of the defendant. One was unattractive and the other was attractive. Results and key takeaways. In the scenario where the criminal is guilty, the women gave higher sentences to the unattractive criminal, 24.71 years, than the attractive criminal, 15.11 years. This amounts to a 63.53% increase. Not only are attractive people perceived more positively, but they also outperform unattractive people on several measures. Attractive people outperform unattractive people on occupational success, popularity, dating experience, sexual experience, and physical health. Studies have even found that attractive people have better mental health, both from subjective experience and on objective psychological measures. Lastly, attractive people tend to have higher career positions and earn more money. Now, how to glow up. There are two types of ways known as soft maxing and hard maxing. Soft maxing is a way of looks maxing which is done without surgery. Like going to the gym, following a healthy diet, etc. And hard maxing involves more invasive methods like Bimax, leg lengthening, etc. A controversy: most people say that soft maxing is not that effective in terms of improving beauty. But it's not fully true. If you have recessed facial features, really bad body ratios, and if you are balding, then, I agree you need a surgical approach, and in that case, soft maxing won't be effective. But some people aren't recessed or have horrible proportional. Most Looksmaxxing transformations, renamed as glow up you see on TikTok, are just soft maxing. Most people will get benefited from soft maxing. Take a look at these examples. This is Taylor Lautner before gym maxing and after gym maxing. The most noticeable thing that changed is his frame. Frame and muscle mass do influence your sexual attractiveness. Weight training also increases the production of your sex hormones, which positively affect your facial aesthetic. Some people say weight training is nothing but a cope. Yes, it's cope for some people and hope for some people. You are probably now thinking, why male models are considered so attractive by females, even though they are skinny and some look malnourished. That's because of their height, face, and frame. Models are above 6 foot, which is the ideal height for men. They also have wide frames and proportions. The taller you are, the bigger your frame is. Your frame can be determined by your height and vice versa. Long arms, long torso, long legs are considered attractive. Take a look at Taylor Lautner and the new Batman. Taylor is around 5 foot 8 inches and Batman is 6 foot tall. Even though Taylor had more muscles than Batman during Twilight, his frame was still smaller than Batman. As I said before, the taller you are, the bigger your frame is. Plus the undoubtedly attractive, lean-looking face does play a huge role. Some are now hitting the gym as they are getting old. Aging is a natural process and you can only fix it through a surgical approach and delay it through having a consistent anti-aging regime. I always say, your looks are a depreciating asset. That means it will lose value with time. The other example is Patrick Bateman. Look at how his attractiveness changes just by altering his weight, hair, beard, grooming, and style. There are lots of examples available in the lookism community, where the transformation is done with non-surgical methods. Hitting the gym, having a skincare routine or other things might seem to be coping, but in most cases, it isn't coping. Another misconception is that if you are sub 5 or too unattractive you can't change your appearance. This is not true at all. Thanks to current technology, now you can fix your height, poor facial bone structure, hair, narrow shoulders, short arms, with the help of surgery. But it will be expensive, will require strong mental strength, planning, and commitment. After a certain stage, no methods and surgery will improve beauty. If you are attractive, you can't make yourself more attractive. At that point, getting cosmetic surgery will make you look uncanny and weird. Suppose you are planning to attack Isla Vista with a gun, riding your BMW. You are probably going to lose your life. Instead of that, what if you get a leg lengthening in Turkey to become 6 feet at a much cheaper rate? Cosmetic surgery from Dr. Sunil Richardson, who is one of the best surgeons, at a much cheaper rate than West. Gym maxing to fix the bad frames, and other soft and hard maxing procedures, which will cost you less than your BMW. Then probably move to Asia for better SMV. Guess what? You are living a good life now. In this video, we discussed and showed you examples of weight training. In the next video, we will discuss other non-surgical methods to improve your beauty. In this channel, we talk about what makes a person attractive and how to improve your attractiveness. If you like to see this type of content, then make sure to subscribe, leave a like and comment your thoughts.